Good, good. One second. Huh? Sorry for that. I had a call to attend. Right. Yeah. I normally say you have to be happy, always happy. How to be happy, we see. And
Mm.
for and if we hope you remember the story that I said yesterday, I told you a story for collaboration. If we to keep your mood high, can you tell me that story if you can?
Uh, the story of
Rabbit and tortoise.
tortoise, yes, everything.
You
The other
remember?
one,
Mm-hmm.
yes, helping the other one to
Mm.
cross over.
Yeah. So I just wanted to hear the story if you can before I share my screen. If you can do that, that would be good. Do you have patience to do that?
I don't know how to tell the story.
So that is important. Now, storytelling is also important. Anyway, that's fine. The story, as I told, I put it
Oh,
in the.
sorry. Hi, sorry. I'm sorry. I stepped away for a minute. So what are we talking about? Sorry.
I was talking about yesterday's story.
Okay.
Yesterday, I told you one story for
Yes.
collaboration. Do you
Yeah.
remember that?
Yeah. The 15-minute story.
15-minute story.
Yeah, it was a 15-minute story. You started at 8:41 actually, and you finished at
Okay,
8:50 something. Yeah.
very good. For good, thanks for timing it. Okay,
And
right.
it was torturing for me.
It was torturing, is it? Why?
Yes, it was torturing for me. I'm like, oh my gosh, can this story just end right now?
Oh, okay. Why it was like that? Why? Because my voice was breaking or story was not interesting.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh, please. We know the story very well. Don't let's talk about it.
Ah, that's what I asked in the beginning. Do you know that story?
I'm sorry I stepped away. I just came back to my computer. I'm
No,
sorry.
no.
Hi, how are you?
I'm
Okay.
fine, thank you.
I was actually asking you yesterday whether you knew that story before. Had you
No, I
no?
don't.
Mhm. Okay. See, the moral of the story is wherever you have strength, you pitch in that and help the other person. Where the other person has got strength, you encash that and both collaborate. Collaboration basically is that don't get stuck at some position where you get the where you know the other person has strength, so that has to be used. Where you have strength, you use that. So if both can collaborate like that, the effect would be much better. That's what the idea was. Sorry in case it was boring yesterday. I didn't mean that. I thought I would be doing entertainment by giving that story. So if you're not enjoyed, so I
It
may have.
was a very it was a long entertaining.
Okay.
I was
I
just
need to.
maybe I was just too hyper at that time. Just
Okay, okay, okay. No issues. No issues. We were talking about the knowledge areas where we were talking about this collaboration also, illustration and collaboration. This collaboration, what I meant here was for what? Can you tell between who are the two parties between whom this collaboration is expected? Two parties between what are the two parties we are expecting this collaboration? Can you tell me if you heard me yesterday well? Elicitation and collaboration.
the
As
stakeholders and the
on
business.
the
Yeah,
business
stakeholder
analyst.
and business analyst. So whenever you want to, as a business analyst, you want to get the requirements right, you should have the collaboration with the stakeholder. The collaboration basically means whenever you get, see, when you are writing the requirements, when you are narrating that requirement, you get a lot of doubts. So you should be, it cannot be point stop. So I stop it. There ends the matter from customer. Customer has given his or her requirements and dot. It is ended. So it's not like that. So you should always engage them so that as you go along, you get many doubts. So all those doubts you should be able to clarify. And it is always better to get the information early than getting it late. You understand the difference between this, Fola? Getting the information, getting the clarification early is much better than getting it late. Fola, you understood
Yes.
what I meant?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Ify, you got that?
Yes, I do. Yes.
So the reason you need to get it early is because you fail fast, people would say. You heard this statement, fail fast. You fail fast. In case you have a problem, you notice that early. If you notice it late, the cost of that would be much higher. So remember this statement. Fail fast is one statement you can always note down. Whenever you say, if I make a mistake, I need to realize the mistake very early. If I fail, I have to fail early so that I don't spend more money in that. Suppose you have selected some path which is not right. So if you know that it is a wrong path early, so you will change your path. Otherwise, you traveled in that path for long, and after that you realize you have to come back all the way and change your course. So that would be very difficult. So that's the reason you should be able to get this information early. So that is where you require stakeholder collaboration, right? Life cycle management is another thing that we were talking about. I was asking that question, what is life cycle? Life cycle, in any case, anywhere you hear this word, life cycle basically means there is an initiation, there is an elaboration, and there is an stop. There is a stop, that is closure. Closure, see, like life starts, life grows, and life ends. So the same way life cycle is that. So anything you are talking about life cycle, you should always look at what is the start, what is the elaboration cycle, and what is the end. So in requirements case also, it's like that. Somebody has got the requirement. That requirement you have to pick up, and then you need to elaborate that requirement. You need to get that requirement clear, what clarifications you require. So you need to get that. You need to document that requirement, and then that requirement has to be translated to a solution. That much, what is requirement should get converted to a solution so that stakeholder will get the value out of that. So that's how we need to, that's the reason you're doing a project. So when you're doing a project, a requirement that comes, that requirement has to be elicited, and then it has to be, solution has to be derived out of that, and then that solution will be deployed for customer so that the requirement, customer says, okay, this requirement is met. So there ends the matter. Okay. And now the other one was the strategy analysis. What is meant by strategy? Ify, I think for follow, this is third time repetition, I think.
Yes.
Second repetition. So I just wanted to hear from Ify, what is strategy?
Strategy is like a method you use to solve a problem.
I would ask this question. Why are you attending this class?
Why am I attending the class?
Yes.
Because I want to be a business analyst.
That's a strategy. Yes or no?
Oh?
That is a strategy. You wanted to become a business analyst.
Okay.
That is the reason you are attending this class. That's a strategy, right? This entire thing is a strategy. Your requirement, you wanted to become a business analyst because of that's a strategic decision that you have taken. You have thought of becoming a business analyst, so you are spending some
Okay.
money attending this class for meeting that goal, that strategic goal. See, you wanted to do something earlier. Now you changed your strategy to become a business analyst. That's how it is. Got the clarity?
Yes, I got it.
Right. Now, the requirement analysis and design definition. So once you have identified the requirement, you have to analyze that requirement, and then you need to prepare the design. So you need to say how I am going to meet that requirement. That is what is the design analysis. So what we are saying here, just see, it describes the tasks to be performed to structure and organize requirements discovered during elicitation activity, specify and model requirements, and design, validate, and verify information, and identify solution options that meet the business need. I was just asking, I think, Fola, I asked you this question, validate and verify difference. Fola?
Yes, you did. And
I
I
did, right?
remember you said it's the same meaning, validate and verify.
No, there should be some difference. No, why you should use two words same?
So I know I use the word validation is like to kind of confirm a statement or whatever the issue is. I use it a lot, like get validation for any situation,
Mm.
like from a second party or a
Mm.
group of a second group.
Mhm.
Then verification, for me, verification is when to kind of like a fact checking something,
Right,
make sure it's correct.
right. Yeah, I was mentioning, if you remember, I was mentioning an example of mobile. So if I wanted a smartphone for my office use, smartphone should have few features. And the features I have listed. It should have a good camera, it should have good memory, it should have good performance. So somebody checked all those validations. All those requirements. Somebody has ticked all those requirements, and that is nothing but verification. Yes, it is. It has got good camera. It has got. It is the model, latest model. It has got good memory. It has got good performance. So all those things are ticked. So that is verification. Now, whether that fellow does my job or not. See, if I brought that phone to office, it is not working in office environment. So then my basic purpose is lost, right? So that is the validation, whether it works for me or not. Other simple example I'll tell you. Suppose you went to a store for LED bulb. You wanted to purchase an LED bulb. Okay, you got my what I said? LED bulb. LED bulb. Hello, you're with me? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I just got doubt whether I am disconnected or something like that. So hope you are able to hear me. So Fola, if you understood what I asked, you know what is LED? LED bulb.
So what was the question?
I'm asking you,
Yes.
if you go to a store to purchase an LED bulb, LED, latest bulbs, no? LED bulbs, light emitting.
Yes, yes,
So
LED.
LED bulb you wanted to purchase. So you have gone to store to purchase anytime? You have purchased light bulbs, electric bulbs. Have you purchased electric bulb anytime from a store?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Ify, have you purchased electric bulb anytime from store? Ify, are you there?
Yes, yes, yes. I've
Okay.
purchased.
So now when you go to purchase an electric bulb, you will tell him, I want a 40 watt bulb, 40 watt bulb or 60 watt bulb. Yes or no? So you will tell, I want a 60 watt bulb. I want a white color bulb. So these two, okay, 60 watt white color bulb. So that guy gives you 60 watt white color bulb. Then what do you do? The next step, do you just take it like that? One more check you will do that time.
Yes.
What do you do?
I look at if it's in a box or whatever the packaging, I look at what is written on the box to make sure that that's what I wanted. And if
Yes, yes.
if it's a box that I can open, I want to open the box and make sure it's what I want that is in the box.
Right. After that, you do one more thing. One more small thing you do before you take it home.
Before I take it home?
Before you take it home, at the
Yeah.
store, you will do one more thing. What is the last thing that you do?
I want to
You-
check out that before.
You want to check with the store. You will ask the store guy to check whether the bulb is glowing or not.
I won't do that at the store. I'm just going to check out and pay for it.
You don't know, is it? You don't check for whether the bulb is glowing or not.
If I get home and it's not working, I just take it back to the store.
Oh, that is double work, no?
There's
Double
nowhere
work.
there's nowhere to do that check in the store.
Yeah, generally in India at least. I am not sure the location where you are. So if in India at least we do the last check. So that guy will put into a holder and switch the bulb on and shows that the bulb is glowing. So before we actually pick up the bulb, so that is the last check that we do. That is nothing but validation. I am validating what I am purchasing. It has got all the specification is verification, and then it is working also for me. So that working, you are checking that it is working is validation. You are validating whatever they have given. Those specifications are working or not is validation. You got it?
Yes.
Okay. Now solution evaluation. It describes the task to be performed to assess the performance of and value delivered by a solution and recommend actions to be taken to realize full value of the solutions. So now once you have checked all the requirements, you are checking for the task to be performed to deliver a solution. So now it is like sometimes a prototype or sometimes a final solution, so that you make how you want to meet the requirements of the customer. So that is what is what is the solution evaluation. So that the customer gets full value. So these are the knowledge areas that you need to look at for understanding, for doing this business analysis. Business analysis, when you want to do, there are 6 knowledge areas according to business analysis body of knowledge. So I want to hear from you, what are the 6 knowledge areas?
The stakeholders.
6 knowledge areas.
Knowledge areas. Okay.
Mm.
That's the business analysis and planning and
monitoring. Yes.
Elicitation and collaboration.
Yes.
Requirement lifecycle management.
Yes.
Strategy analysis.
Right.
Requirements analysis and design definition.
That's right.
Solution evaluation.
So these are the 6 knowledge areas. As I said, what is meant by knowledge area also I have explained. So you should be clear on that. Now, how these knowledge areas are
Sorry, can I ask you a quick question?
Yes, please go ahead.
On the solution evaluation, is this after the value has been delivered, like the changes that's when you go back and evaluate the solution?
That's right. That can happen 2 ways. One is, see, business analyst, even before giving the actual solution, I can narrate what is the solution. This is what I am going to develop. This is what I am going to give. Are you happy or not? Do you want any change? So those things can be discussed there itself. So that is one way. Second is, after completing the solution also, you can evaluate. Both are possible. So solution evaluation can happen 2 times. One is, before you actually develop a solution, business analyst can narrate, this is what I am going to do. So when you narrate what you are going to do, your stakeholder can say that is what he is looking at or not. Sometimes your thought process and stakeholders' thought process could be different. So that can be clarified at that time itself. And then you develop the solution, go back to them for final evaluation to get the full solution, full value out of that. You got it?
Yes, thank you.
Right. Now, see, if you see here, how everything is interrelated. Business analysis, planning, and monitoring. So with this, I can get into whether strategy analysis, whether strategy I have planned in my planning and monitoring. Am I aligned to the strategy or not? The same way, requirements analysis and design definition. My business analysis, planning, and monitoring, is it at the time of planning and monitoring, am I looking at the requirements? What are the requirements? How I do the requirement analysis? How I do the design definition? So this, at the planning level itself, I can think of other things. So how I am going to do these things? When I am doing strategy analysis, I have to look back to planning and monitoring. What is that? What is initially planned? how I wanted to do it. So that the same way I'll be doing the strategy analysis. So these are all these knowledge areas are related is what this diagram depicts for you. Illustration and collaboration. Once I plan, according to the plan, how I wanted to do, because if I have meetings planned, so I need to go according to that and do my elicitation according to the meetings that are planned. Suppose I want to use a questionnaire for eliciting the requirements, so that I go according to the plan. So that's how these are all interrelated knowledge areas. So requirements lifecycle management when you're doing. So you should plan that also at business analysis, planning and monitoring. And you refer back to that whenever you're doing this. And when you come to these other knowledge areas like requirement analysis and design definition. So requirements lifecycle management depends on requirement analysis and design definition also. The same way solution evaluation also it depends. So these are all one to the other, the interrelated. That is the idea of this diagram. Are you clear? Fola, any
Yes.
questions? Yeah. So that's how it is, because anything that, but when I'm doing a solution design, I need to look back to how the requirement analysis and design definition are done. What is the requirement life cycle? What is the plan for requirement life cycle management? And what is the strategy? How is strategy analyzed? How are the requirements elaborated, elicited? And collaboration, basically collaboration process is checking with the stakeholder what was the communication to and fro. So based on all those things, you will be coming up with the solution. So that's how everything is interrelated. These knowledge areas are interrelated. Now, when you are
So-
taking the, yes, please.
Can I ask you one question?
Yes, go
So
ahead.
for like an enterprise-wide, let's say, an ERP implementation,
Yeah.
and it's just a very, let's say like Coca-Cola, kind of a Coca-Cola size of company.
Mhm.
Definitely, you're not going to have just one business analyst on that project. So
Yeah, multiple.
you
yeah.
have so many business analysts on the project. Now,
Yes.
as a business analyst, I don't have to be involved in all of these 6 areas, right? I could just be in the strategy analysis group,
Mhm. Yeah,
or I
yeah.
could be in solution evaluation. So what I'm trying to say is,
Right.
it's not like one business analyst at any point in time will have to do all of these functions, right?
Right. It depends upon how exactly you are planning. So now, if if you are looking at in ERP implementation, you are looking at one specific area. Suppose you are implementing at production planning. So if you are looking at production planning, you may have to think you are the owner of that. All requirements, you are the owner. Unless you have got, say, 2-3 business analysts led by someone else as a senior business analyst. If you have got that kind of a structure, that's a different thing. Otherwise, even if the organization is big, the area that you may be handling could be smaller. Suppose you are handling only production planning. In that production planning, all these things come into picture. You got my point. These knowledge areas are important for you to collect the requirements. So as a business analyst, you cannot divide these things. So whether you should be involved in planning or not is a different story. But you should have idea about all these knowledge areas when you are going for business analysis. That's important. So if you have got a senior business analyst who does this planning and monitoring, but it is always safe for you to be involved in that. You should understand how it is planned. So then you need to ask questions on what is the strategy. So you should be able to ask questions on that. So here, there is no point in dividing this kind of a thing. You as a business analyst, you need to have knowledge about all 6 areas. Then only you will be able to do a good job. So your area in ERP implementation, functional area could be smaller, but
Yes.
you require all these things.
Okay.
Right? Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Now, when you are collecting requirements, there are different types of requirement. You can classify the requirements. Requirements can be business requirements, solution requirements, transition requirement, stakeholder requirements. It actually starts with stakeholder requirements. What stakeholder states, what business needs. You got that? What stakeholder states the requirement? Because business is at higher level. Business requirements, when you are actually, if you have done this, you might not have got the experience of all these things. Otherwise, so when a business team negotiates with the customer, they'll be negotiating with the top guys or the sales guys, purchase guys of the organization. Now, those guys put the requirements in a different way. Like CEO puts the requirements at his level or her level. CEO's level of thinking of the requirements could be different. Now, when you go to the ground level and each department, when you are talking to, even for the ERP implementation for so there you will see the way that requirement comes could be totally different. You should be able to align between these two. What exactly business wanted? What is the requirement that the individual stakeholders have? Now you should be able to collate those things and come up with final requirements. So that's what statements of goals, objectives, and outcomes that describe why a change has been initiated. That is the business requirement. You should meet that business requirement when you are giving a solution. Stakeholder requirement is basically what stakeholder narrates, that is, describe the needs of the stakeholders that must be met to achieve the business requirements. So, whatever business requirements you are thinking, that if you are looking at stakeholder requirements, what stakeholder is narrating, you should be able to collate and meet these two so that you meet the business requirements and what stakeholder mentions to you also. Right. Now, next comes the transition requirement. What is the transition requirement? So we'll go to solution requirement first, and then come to transition. Stakeholder requirement, business requirement, solution requirements. Solution requirements, basically, when you have understood these two requirements, stakeholder and business requirements, you look at solution requirements. How you want to give the solution. Solution will have stated requirements and inferred requirements. Yesterday, I think I was using this word inferred requirements. You understand, Fola? Inferred requirements. Stated requirements and non-stated requirements. Because certain things they don't mention. See, inferred requirements are inferred or non-stated requirements. I'll just put that as a word here in the chart. Let me see if I can add the chart. I can add here. So, stated requirements, inferred requirements. You got it? So, sometimes what they state is not the final requirement. There will be certain things which are obvious you need to understand. Suppose if I say you have to catch a bus. So if I say you have to catch a bus, you going to bus stop, nobody need to say no. That is an inferred requirement. You have to go to the bus stop and catch the bus. So you can't catch the bus sitting at home. That's how. The inferred requirement will be there. Suppose I want a mobile. Mobile, when I say I want certain features, I also look at performance automatically. I want an application, say mobile app, to book an appointment. So when I say I want an appointment booking app in my mobile. So app is showing the appointments, but when you try to book it, it's not opening. Page is not opening. Do you like it? So page performance is a it's non-stated requirement. Rather, you call them as functional requirements, non-functional requirements. Functional requirement is how an appointment has to be booked. I want to book an appointment. I want to see all the appointments. So book an appointment, when I say at what speed it has to open up so that you are comfortable to book an appointment, is a non-functional requirement. But it has to happen. You got it?
You
Yes.
are saying stated requirements,
Mhm,
statement requirement, and inferred requirements. So
mhm.
does it mean that um functional requirements is the same thing as
Yeah, functional
inferred
requirements. Yeah,
requirements?
yeah.
Is it the
Functional
same?
functional
Is it the
requirements
same?
people will state. People, yeah, that's stated requirements are functional requirements.
Okay. Okay,
People will state.
non-functional.
Non-functional, they don't tell. You should understand. Majority. Sometimes people will tell you. Sometimes people may not tell you. Clear?
So you are saying that non-functional is inferred requirements. Because
Most
I
of
don't
the
understand.
most of the times need not be 100%. Sometimes if you ask question, people will tell you. That's where we always tell you should ask questions. If you ask questions, suppose like what I said, you should catch a bus. So if you say you should catch a bus, then you should ask that what bus stop I should go and catch the bus.
Yes,
How
I
should
wanted
how
to
should
know. I
uh,
wanted to know the relationship between the two of them,
mhm,
because you are talking about inferred and stated requirements,
right.
and you jump to this functional and or okay, functional or infunctional or non-functional. I don't know
Fun-
how you jumped.
yeah, functional or non-functional requirements. What are the functional requirements? I told you that I have a mobile app. In mobile app, what is functional requirement? Functional requirement is I have a mobile app for appointment booking. So you will tell that I want to book an appointment. I should be able to see my previous appointments. I should be able to select any previous appointment and ask for a repetition. I should be able to write information about the appointment. I should be able to close the appointment. I should be able to see the status of the appointment at any time. I should also be able to see how much time I took to meet the doctor. So, like that, you put this functional requirements. Now, what is the non-functional requirement? When I click to book an appointment, the screen should come up in, say, 3 seconds. 3 seconds, the screen should come up to book an appointment. When I search for a doctor, within a second, I should be able to search the doctor. When I select a doctor, I should get the appointment free slots within 2 seconds, like that. So these are all not stated, right? Hello, is there a drop?
No, so I have a question. No, well, it's not a question really.
Uh-huh.
So I wanted to circle back to what Ify was asking. At the same time, I wanted to see if I understand what you mean by functional and non-functional. So you started by talking about stated and inferred requirements,
Right.
which I don't really understand. But the non-functional and the functional, I understand what you just said, but I wanted to use like my own day-to-day kind of what I do done for so many years to as an example. So let's say in my accounting department now we have the accounting is a function, right?
Right.
So on our side as accountants or whatever, we are functional.
Mm-hmm.
The IT guys that are doing the that are driving the system, doing the coding behind the scene, those guys are non-functional, right?
Oh, you are relating to that way. It is not that. You can relate. There is nothing wrong, but that's not. See now, what you will tell my chart of accounts. I should
Mhm,
preview of the chart of accounts.
mhm.
Okay. Or you would say I should be able to see my chart of accounts, and I should be easily adding any account under that. So I should see it as asset, liability, yeah, income and expenditure. I should be able to add ledgers below asset groups, liability groups, like that. Now giving a tree view is a non-functional requirement. Your functional requirement is I should be able to see asset, liability, income, expenditure. Under that, I should be able to see how I should be able to add asset groups, liability groups, like that. Under that, I should be able to add ledger accounts. Now, how do you present that? How do you present? It can be a tree view or it can be a simple screen where you select the groups. But if it is presented as a tree view, it makes more sense. So the application guy would have thought that tree view presentation, and they have given you that. So have you told tree view should be there? You would not have told, right? You understood what I said?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, so okay, in the past when I stepped out of the accounting space
Mhm.
to actually do implementation of accounting software. So we as consultants doing the designing the GL and all the whatever the front facing end of the
Right.
software, we were regarded as the functional consultants, and that's why I'm getting confused. But the guys, the IT guys, the developers, the technical guys, they were non-functional, but we, the accountants that were doing all the balance
Functional,
designing
yes.
the software, we
Yes.
were functional, and that's why I was getting confused.
No problem. I'm trying to explain that only. See, functional requirements are what, as a functional person, what you can explain. So far what I told, how accounts, what is the ledger account? So what are the chart of accounts? That list of chart of accounts you will give to the as a requirement. I want to see all these ledger accounts. They have to be grouped. See, assets have to be grouped under asset group, and assets can be capital assets and current assets. Like that, I want a grouping. Under that, I have got all ledger accounts. This entire list, the functional wise, you will give, right? You will be giving that which
Okay.
account should come under what, how the grouping, what are the groupings you want to see.
Okay.
But
Okay. Thank you.
you don't tell how it has to be presented.
Okay.
So that
It
it
makes
is
sense now.
that is non-functional.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
how much time it takes for opening that screen, that is also non-functional. So those are all technical requirements, non-functional requirements,
Okay.
right?
So the stated and the inferred requirements that you were explaining, what was that?
You will be stating, generally as a functional person, you will be stating the functional requirements. You will be stating, sometimes you go beyond and say, I want to have a tree view. So that also you would say. So that is beyond, though it is functional requirement, and you're going to non-functional also, you are stating those requirements. But sometime after that, there are unstated, inferred requirements, further requirements are there, which a developer should take care by himself, right? So as a business analyst, if you can go understand that inferred requirements also, whatever your functional requirement that has come from the customer, that information, and what is expected also, if you can write, that is the inferred requirement or non-functional. Sometimes it can be a non-functional requirement. So if you can write that, then it becomes easy for developers to develop it. So if it is a software, developers will be able to develop it much better. See, suppose now customer wants all the chart of accounts to be ported to new application. Whatever my chart of accounts are there with the opening balances, they have to be ported. So this is the statement, right? It is a stated statement, one line statement or two line statement. It is actually stated requirement. What is inferred requirement in that? How do I port it? So if I have to port it, I want the information in Excel. So I'll ask, if you give me in Excel, I'll be able to migrate it. So that inferred requirement is that bulk migration and the tool being used is an inferred requirement. Yes or no?
Yes.
You understood that part? Have you done this by any time? By any chance, any time?
Have I done
That
what?
what you understood what I said? Chart of accounts. See, if you have done as an accountant, when you want to implement a software, the first question that will be asked is, I want the list of accounts.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That list of accounts should come in an Excel sheet with the opening balances, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that has to be ported to the new system.
Yeah.
So that this entire topic, this entire stuff is not stated. You will
Okay.
only say one statement saying that my accounts have to be ported to new system. So inferred requirements are, how do you port it? So for doing that, I require list of accounts with the opening balances, in case you are asking for closing, transactions which are open also. So you need to take that list also, and then you should port it. So that entire thing has to be defined. Business analyst should be able to understand these things. They should write. So customer says only one statement: I want my accounts to be ported. Now, how you are going to get the accounts, how you are going to verify those things, and then how they will be ported to the new system, how you allow the customer to verify it. So all these things are inferred requirements, or non-stated requirements, or non-functional requirements.
Okay. So what you're saying in a nutshell is both of your functional and non-functional requirements will be both stated and inferred.
Yes. Some you
Thank you.
state, some you don't state. That's the idea.
Okay.
Right? Okay. Ify, you are there with us, or you're missed? Ify,
With you. I'm here
yeah,
with
you
you.
understood? You understood
Yes.
what is. So that's how it is. So now the transition requirements. There is one more thing called transition requirements. Can you tell me what could be the transition requirement? Either Ify or Fola, any one of you can volunteer. What could be transition requirement?
Well, just based on common sense now, that I really don't know, but I'm going to just guess that your transition requirements, I mean, maybe training of staff will be part of
Okay.
transition.
Excellent. Okay. Any other thing?
Like, I'm sorry, I keep saying ERP because that's what I've done forever.
No problem.
So you're
Same
doing
example.
your parallel running, that will be transitioning to doing parallel
Yes. When you are doing ERP implementation, when you are transitioning is important, because parallel running, and after that you go live. After go live, you have to support. So this entire thing is transition requirement. How you want to transition. So because how many days, if you are doing a parallel run, how do you manage both? How do you close your accounts? So each month end, do you close in the old application and then port to new application, or you parallelly you close in both accounts, both the applications, and move on? So how do you do that? How do you stop the old application? When do you call it as this transition is over? So all that stuff is transition requirements. Okay.
Okay, so one more question is, all of these requirements will all of this be stated in your planning?
Yeah. What type of
In your
requirements that?
business
Yeah.
analysis planning?
That's right. So you need to write that. How do you collect these requirements, and then how do you monitor those things? Everything is done at the initial planning itself.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Now there are different requirements documents. Have you heard BRD, FSD, SRS? BRD is something called business requirement documents that comprises both business and stakeholder requirements. This is the high level one. Functional specification document, how you are going to, that it is a little more elaboration. So it's a matter of template, how you use functional specification. As a user, what I want to see functionally, you are going to explain the requirement. So you have to elaborate the requirements into functional specification document. Then becomes SRS document. SRS is solution requirement specification. Normally we call it a software requirement specification, but better generic word is solution requirement specification document. So BRD, FSD, SRS. Do you use three separately? You don't. You have to pick up one, like software specification, requirement specification, or even if you call it as business requirement specification document or BRD, you put all the things in that. You don't use three separately. Generally, in practical scenarios, you don't use three separate documents. It will be all one. But the possibility, because people call with the different names, like business requirement document, functional specification document, SRS. So what does each mean is what is written here. Are you clear?
Yes, I'm clear.
Ify?
I'm clear. Yes, I'm
Okay.
clear.
Right. So now there is another thing that we have heard, requirements and design. So what does requirements and design? So requirements is nothing but whenever customer gets a need, that is translated to requirements. That those requirements, if you understand for solution purpose, you have to design and give a solution. So requirements lead to design. Requirements may be used to define design. Requirements are focused on needs, and design is focused on solution. Requirements is focused, as you see here, requirements is focused on needs. What customer has stated, that translating to in more say structured way is called requirements. Needs, the customer's needs, you are translating to a structured way. That is, requirements are focusing to needs, whereas design is focusing to solution. So design, when you the same requirement, based on the requirements, you will design in such a way what is the solution that you need to give it to the stakeholder. So the focus is on how you are going to develop the solution. That's how you do the designing. Right. Requirements and design could be recursive. So you may do it multiple times. Some changes could be there in requirements. So you do the design again, something like that. A business analyst reviews designs to ensure they align with the requirements. So business analyst job is doing the requirements. But so there is a solution designer. So solution designer has developed, designed the solution. But you should ensure that that solution is matching the requirements that you have collected. That's how you will be reviewing it. Okay? Clear?
Yeah.
Right. So that's how we are talking about. Next is
Sorry, what does that, sorry, can you go back? What does it mean requirements and designs could be recursive? What's that word recursive?
It is basically multiple times you may be, see, there could be changes in requirement. If there is a change in requirement, you may have to change the design also. That's how it is.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome. Now, stakeholder definition I have given. Stakeholder is an individual or group that a business analyst is likely to interact with directly or indirectly. So, who is a stakeholder? Stakeholder is the person who is directly affected or indirectly affected with the project. Now, you will be, if the stakeholder is directly or indirectly affected by the project, business analyst is supposed to interact with them to get the requirement. So business analyst is directly or indirectly may interact with these guys. So those are the stakeholders is what he is talking about. So business analyst, if you take, there could be supplier. If you're talking about ERP, in ERP also you will see the supplier, customer, sponsor, end user, regulator, all these guys are there. The same way, domain subject matter expert, tester, operational support guy, implementation subject matter expert, project manager, all these guys with whom your business, as a business analyst, you will be interacting. You understand? As a ERP, on the left side, what you see is customer friend, and this right side, what you see is as a project. If you are a part of the project team, so you are talking to all these guys in the project. So that's how the stakeholders with whom business analyst is interacting. Are you clear with this? A stakeholder is an individual or group that a business analyst is likely to interact with directly or indirectly.
So,
Mhm.
are you saying that the Jesus? Hello?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Are you saying that the tester? I can't see my screen. That's why I don't know what happened.
So you are an accounts person. So you are a domain subject matter expert. In accounts, you are expert. Now somebody has to test your solution. So there is a tester. So even if you have got the subject matter expertise, somebody has to
Okay.
look at
Let
the,
me come back to my question.
yeah.
You know, say you said the stakeholders and the business analysts and interact. So and the stakeholders are the people who has interest in the
Project.
project or something like that. So are you saying that all these the tester, the operational support, the sponsor, are they the stakeholders?
Yeah, for your solution, when you are making a solution, for your solution, everybody is a stakeholder. If I am making a solution, my
Okay.
support guy also is a stakeholder for me. That guy will come and say that your application, I am not able to work. How you think customer can work? So I need to have a user. Say for tester, I need to give a user. If you look at ERP, for ERP, I just need to think, right, how my tester can log in, how my domain subject matter expert can log in, how my operation support guy can log in, how my implementation guy can do it. Like that's where I was talking about Excel imports and all. If how my implementation guy has to implement it. The same way how my project manager looks at the application solution that I'm giving. So that's how all these guys become a stakeholder for with whom business analyst interacts. Okay, Paula, you got it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
If we
Yeah.
you understood the word stakeholder,
Yes. Yes.
stakeholder, you just need to remember saying that anybody who is getting directly or indirectly affected by the project. Now here the same, whoever is getting affected by the project, business analyst is going to interact with. That's how these are all stakeholders. That's the idea. Okay.
Okay.
There is something called competencies of business analyst. We'll go through one by one competency later. So these competencies are put into different categories. A business analyst should have business knowledge, communication skills, interaction skills, tools and technologies, analytical thinking and problem solving, behavioral characteristics. These are all the things that competencies that a business analyst should have. Are you clear? We'll discuss more on this tomorrow. Any questions you have?
No questions, sir. I'm okay.
You are okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
I'm
go through this tomorrow. That may be better than picking up right now. So these are all competencies that a business analyst should have. One thing that I would put is this one first. Let us BACCM. Are you clear with this core concept model?
Yes, I'm
A
clear.
stakeholder gets a need, and that need requires a change. That change requires a solution. That solution gives you context where the stakeholder gets the value. Different contexts you see, in those different contexts, everywhere there should be a value addition for the stakeholder. That's how the concept model is developed. Stakeholder needs, changes, solutions, context, and value. There is one small quiz here before we complete. So let us see this. Which of the following is not a component of the business analysis core concept model? Can you answer this question?
Hinge.
C.
Not NOT.
It's not. That would be C.
If what do you say?
Oh, content.
Yeah, content.
Yes. Okay. Content is not part of the business analysis core concept model. Change, need, solution, stakeholder, value, and context are the 6 components of BACC. Now, can you answer this? Dash are focused on needs and dash are focused on the solution. We just read about this. Dash are focused on the needs. Just before you asked a question also, Fola.
Oh yeah. So that would be D. The
D?
requirements are focused on the
Right,
needs
right,
and
right.
the designs are focused on the solutions.
You are right. You are right. You are all alert. Happy.
So is solution focused on
Design is focused on solution.
No, I'm asking what is solution focused on? Is solution focused on the stakeholders' needs, or is it focused on the requirements?
See, solution should meet the requirement. Design should be, design
Okay,
is an
yeah.
action. Design is an action which should be focused on solution, which meets the needs of the customer. That's how that we spoke about requirements and design are recursive. You asked that question, no? Requirement and designs are recursive because you are trying to, requirement meets the needs of the customer. Now design should meet a solution which meets the customer's requirement. That's how it is. Design, see whether it focuses is a focus. Solution doesn't focus. Solution should meet the requirement. If you ask me, when you are doing the design, it should focus on the customer solution. Design should focus on the solution, how it has to be given, whereas your requirement is focusing on the needs of the customer. So in a way, your solution is meeting the requirement. Your solution is meeting the need of the customer. That's it.
Okay, so
Solution.
who does the designing? Would that be like a solutions architect, or is it a BA that does the designing as well?
No, BA doesn't do design and all. It's all solution architects. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Which of the following is a business analysis knowledge area? If you remember all knowledge areas, 6 knowledge areas, you can pick up which is the knowledge area.
Elicitation and collaboration.
Very good. Which of the following is not a category of business analyst competencies as defined in BA group? That's what we are going to go through. But if you understand, we just competencies. Which of the following is not a category of business analyst competencies? Analytical thinking and problem solving, communication, organizational knowledge, interaction.
Communication.
Communication is the skill. We have seen that.
Communication.
And analytical thinking we have seen as a skill. Interaction is a skill. Only
Organizational knowledge, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I think we come to an end for today's call. How was it?
It was better than yesterday. Thank you.
Yesterday it was.
No, yesterday the network was
Yeah.
bad and it was making it boring.
Oh yeah, it was chaotic yesterday.
That's
Yeah.
right. And it was chaotic. And
But
lastly,
today
we had to cut off also because of the other team.
Yes.
So all
Yeah.
that is sorted out now.
yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your. I personally appreciate your teaching style. Thank you so much. Thank you for the patience and trying to make sure that we both understand what you're saying.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for the appreciation. And
Okay.
you hope you know that I'm a yoga master.
Maybe after we're done, I'm going to sign up for your yoga class.
No, when you said patience, I told you that patience is because of that. Patience is a skill that is learned. Thank you.
Yeah. On a serious note, I'm going to start thinking about doing yoga. Well, I'll let you get to that point.
We'll discuss definitely. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank
Good
you.
night, Vic.
Good night.
Take care.
Bye. 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 Bye.